As Marvel Studios gears up for its next major swing with Spider-Man Brand New Day, the rumor mill has gone into overdrive. 8 different villains have now been linked to Tom Holland's 4th solo outing as the Web Slinger, and fans are scrambling to figure out what kind of threat Peter Parker might face next. Official details are still tightly under wraps. Marvel and Sony have remained silent on the plot, but what is confirmed is that Spider-Man 4, titled Brand New Day, is scheduled to hit theaters on July 31, 2026, with Sadie Sink joining the cast in a mysterious role. With Zendaya set to return as MJ and J.K. Simmons reprising his role as J. Jonah Jameson, the movie is clearly shaping up to bridge old and new territory. Helmed by Destin Daniel Cretton, the filmmaker behind Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings, this next chapter is rumored to center on Peter Parker starting a new life in New York, now fully on his own, stripped of friends, fame, and financial stability. Before we dive in, I want to thank each of you for being here and watching our content. We've noticed that most of you haven't hit that subscribe button yet, and honestly, that would mean the world to us. Your subscription helps us reach more people. So please, take 2 seconds and subscribe. It costs you nothing, but helps us a lot. And now, let's dig into the real meat of the conversation, the villains. Let's unpack each of the 8 rumored antagonists circling this project. 1. Scorpion. Scorpion, or Mac Gargan, made a quiet debut back in Spider-Man Homecoming in 2017, played by Better Call Saul's Michael Mando. Then, nothing. He vanished from the storyline, leaving many fans wondering if Marvel had dropped the thread. But now, nearly a decade later, his name resurfaced during a Disney Consumer Products presentation. Could his long-awaited return finally be happening? As one of Spidey's most physically intimidating foes, Scorpion, with his cybernetic tail and armor, would add some serious punch to the action. His reappearance could also hint at the formation of a larger rogues gallery. 2. Mr. Negative. Perhaps the most frequently discussed name in this swirl of speculation is Mr. Negative, also known as Martin Lee. This character brings an intriguing duality. He's both a kind-hearted philanthropist who runs the Feast Shelter and a ruthless villain who can manipulate negative energy. His yin-yang nature would resonate powerfully with a morally conflicted Peter Parker navigating life in isolation. Rumors trace back to credible insider Jeff Snyder, who claims Mr. Negative will be the film's central villain. Speculation around casting has also heated up. Steven Yeun and Stephen Oyoung, who voiced the character in Marvel's Spider-Man game, have both been mentioned as possibilities. While it's unclear who will eventually don the black and white suit, the character's psychological depth makes him a strong contender for a darker, more intimate story. 3. A mystery female villain. Here's where things get interesting. Reports suggest Marvel is eyeing Succession star Sarah Snook for a secondary villain role. While no character name has been confirmed, insider Daniel Richtman revealed that casting was underway for a female villain in her 30s to 50s, open to all ethnicities. Fans have tossed around theories, the most popular being Spider-Queen, Adriana Soria, a lesser-known but menacing figure from the comics who can transform, telepathically control spiders, and emit a mutagenic enzyme. She's powerful, weird, and could introduce a creepy biological horror angle the franchise hasn't yet explored. 4. Tombstone. Tombstone, aka Lonnie Lincoln, is a name many Spider-Man fans know from animated series and comics, but he's never gotten the big screen treatment, until possibly now. Another name dropped during the Disney presentation, Tombstone would be a logical fit for a grounded, gritty narrative. With near invulnerable skin and a brute strength that rivals even the Hulk to an extent, Tombstone is typically portrayed as a New York crime boss, exactly the kind of threat that aligns with a more street-level, post-multiverse Spider-Man. 5. Boomerang. Boomerang, Fred Myers, may not be a household name, but his presence on this rumored lineup could point to Marvel forming a Sinister Six type ensemble. Reportedly mentioned alongside Tombstone and Scorpion, Boomerang might not be the main event, but could fill the role of a comedic, reckless enforcer, similar to Shocker's role in Homecoming. In the comics, he's a former baseball pitcher who uses high-tech boomerangs after falling into a life of crime. He's quirky, a little unpredictable, and could offer comic relief while still serving as a real threat in action sequences. 6. Tarantula. The Tarantula is another deep-cut villain whose rumored inclusion came from attendees of a Disney merchandising conference. Traditionally depicted as a mercenary with enhanced agility and poisonous foot spikes, Tarantula might be unfamiliar to casual audiences, but could bring something fresh to the cinematic universe. With a complex backstory tied to international conflict and defection, this character could introduce new geopolitical elements to the story, especially if Spider-Man's actions attract attention beyond New York's borders. 7. Savage Hulk. Yes, Savage Hulk. The idea of Mark Ruffalo's Hulk appearing in a Spider-Man film might sound like an Avengers-level crossover, but rumors suggest this wouldn't be the calm, Professor Hulk version we've come to know. This would be the rage-fueled, uncontrollable Hulk, the kind that levels cities and doesn't ask questions. Reportedly discussed at the same Disney presentation, this iteration of Hulk could be set loose due to events in another MCU storyline, forcing Spider-Man into the uncomfortable position of fighting a former ally. While it would certainly expand the film's scope, this idea still feels speculative and dependent on broader MCU planning. 8. Kingpin. Lastly, we come to Wilson Fisk, better known as Kingpin. Played by Vincent D'Onofrio, Fisk has become a fan favorite through Marvel's Daredevil and Hawkeye, and fans have been begging for a Spider-Man vs. Kingpin showdown on the big screen for years. However, D'Onofrio has admitted that rights complications might keep the character from showing up in Spider-Man 4. Still, his name continues to swirl around the project, especially if Marvel is angling for a more grounded and crime-centric plot. Even if Kingpin doesn't make it into Brand New Day, there's little doubt that Marvel knows fans want to see this battle happen eventually. So what does this all mean? 8 villains. Some street level, some superhuman, some well-known, others obscure. If even half of these rumors prove true, Spider-Man Brand New Day could be shaping up to be Marvel's most villain-packed Spider-Man entry yet. But it also raises questions. Are we heading for a Sinister Six scenario? Could this be Marvel's chance to reset the tone after the reality-bending chaos of No Way Home? Or are we simply seeing a lot of early ideas floating around as Marvel and Sony finalize the script? At this point, nothing is confirmed. These are all just puzzle pieces, and the full picture is still hidden. But one thing's for sure, Tom Holland's Peter Parker isn't going to have it easy. So what's your take? Would a massive villain lineup excite you, or is less more? Let us know in the comments. And as always, stay tuned for more movie updates.